Okay, how's it going, people? Hope everyone's well. We got some new Dino support, and I just wanted to take a couple of minutes to talk about it. It seems pretty exciting. Me and Moz initially disagree on the viability of it because I think it's quite good, but it's really hard to say right now with the format being what it is, what's going to be worth playing. But I think it's really cool. It'll definitely completely alter the way the deck is played if you opt for this build. So I think it's more of an or instead of an and. So first off, the art looks great. Gotta love dinos for having the edginess as well as the babies kind of juxtaposing that. But yeah, really cool art. Okay, so it's the Transcendrakes. This is the archetype. They are a group of dinos. Pretty sure they're all dinos. I'll quickly flip through. Dino, dino, dino. Okay. Hopefully that didn't spoil anything. So the underlying gimmick of the Transdrake theme is that they're learning the fact that in kanji, you can use dragon when not in katakana, which I'm not familiar with. I am an uncultured swine, so that's dinosaur, sea serpent, or worm, which is why Xenometeorus, the main core card for the archetype, calls for those monster types. Apparently in dinosaur in Japanese literally means terror dragon, so there's probably translation stuff there that they've had to work out while importing to the TCG. So Xenometeorus, level 6 fire dinosaur, and it's a tuner. That is a lot of options. 2000 attack and 200 defense. With it being a cornerstone, it's probably pretty easy to summon. It's not always the case that getting big damage on the board is as overwhelming as you would like it to be. But I find if any deck's going to do it, it's hyper aggressive ones like dinosaurs. So the stat line may come up. Yeah, 200 defense. Unfortunately, it's not pyro, so I don't think we're looking at rekindling here. So you can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. So hard once per turns on both. If a card or cards are destroyed by battle or card effect, you can special summon the card from your hand. Now, I imagine doing your normal Lost World line with your Oviraptor, your token, you're protecting the token, you're popping a baby from deck. That should bring it out, because it doesn't say where the destruction needs to be. We'll have to see when we get the actual official translation, but it seems really flexible on that first effect. Number 2, during your main phase, you can activate this effect. You cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn, except dragon, dinosaur, sea serpent, and worm. So this is where it's kind of an or instead of an and, because you're not going to be using the flexibility to go into Baron. You could opt to just not use this second effect, and a 4 and a 6 makes Baron defloor. So yeah, but you did, as a trade-off, it's combo enabler. You get to destroy one dinosaur monster you control or in your hand, then special summon one dinosaur normal monster from your deck or your hands. So you're gonna go +2 straight away. That is an immediate Dulker or Lagia just off that effect. So you can stick one of those, which are really powerful cards that into a judgment or a double strike straight away. Also, stat line of a 6 suspiciously goes into Solder, which is a non-once per turn destruction of a special summon monster. Now, that is not the same as Lagia, where it negates and destroys, like destroys the monster on summon, which is much more judgment. It doesn't actually negate the summon. So, and then you get to eat Ellie out one not. which I'm assuming will be a 4. Maybe you'll go down the line of a 6 to enable a solder, or if there's anything in archetype, it seems to already, with this being a cornerstone, I would assume you're going to have flexible options for 6, or it can allow you some synchro plays for, you know, there's a lot of dragons, worms as well. Worms might be interesting. Moving on, we have got the big dino. So 3500, same stat line as UCT. I doubt it'll have a battle effect that's quite as effective. Cannot be normal summoned or set, must be special summoned by card effect. So either way, I think you're going to be special summoning this by card effect. Whether it be its own effect, whether it be reborning it with a OV, whether it be, I mean, Pill ignores summoning conditions anyway, but I don't think there's going to be a circumstance where you're going to be looking to tribute to this anyway. It's fairly standard for dinos. You can only use the first, second, and third effect of this card's name once per turn each, so hard once per turn on all of them. During your opponent's turn, quick effect, you can destroy 2 other monsters, other dinosaur monsters you control and or in your hand, and if you do, special summon it. It'll summon itself, and you can potentially pop off a little bit. You're not exactly fully playing on your opponent's turn. I mean, you can insulate your board depending how things have played out. Or if you're blinding second, so their first turn, you're doing this, you potentially special summon the card from your hand. Yeah, you potentially going as far as like summoning OV, grabbing Misk, setting yourself up for your first turn to go in for a really solid OTK. If this card is special summoned, you can send 1 dinosaur monster from your deck to the graveyard. You can dump Misk straight away, or Giant Rex. Cool. If this card is destroyed, you can shuffle 1 normal monster from your graveyard into the deck, then you can special summon this card. I think this is a clause that all the big ones have, because I've briefly glanced over it just to know what I'm preparing. The other thing is, if you're playing with normal monsters quite a bit, depending how they fall in rotation, and how you want to build it, I suppose you've got the option of playing a bit of a control variant with Survival's End, which you destroy as many normal monsters on the field as possible, and if you do, special summon level 4 or lower dinosaur type monsters from your deck up to the number destroyed, but destroy them during the end phase. I think this is fairly solid. You can chuck out babies depending on the ratios of normals you want, depending what you're trying to achieve, and then you can banish it from your graveyard, target 1 dinosaur type monster you control and 1 your opponent controls, destroy them. So that might increase your combo. There, it's probably a bit slow. It's again, it would be built totally different. That is a very blind first deck, not a blind second. Okay. And we've been through this. If the card is destroyed, you can shuffle 1 normal monster from your graveyard into your deck. Now that's Trancendrake Meteorus. Oh, that was Dino Meteorus. This is Trancendrake Meteorus. So, same guy, but he grew up, I'm guessing. Okay, Trancendrake Gigantozola. Mixing dinosaur names and Yu-Gi-Oh names is not fun. It definitely makes for some difficult pronunciations. Alright, so level 12, Earth Dinosaur Fusion Effect Monster. I would expect we're going to get some fusion support here, because asking people to play Poly in Dino is probably a lot. So 3800 attack. Again, it's big. The Dino's the big. Got this really like mammoth look as well, but also like Triceratopsy and turtley. I'm into it. The art's good. It needs a dinosaur monster and a normal monster. So again, the normal monster is probably like a key part of this strategy. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name once per turn. There's only 2. so it's all hard once per turn. If this card is special summoned, you can target one dinosaur monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. Then, if this card was special summoned from the graveyard, you can destroy one card you control or in your hand, and one card your opponent controls. If this card is destroyed, you can shuffle one normal monster from your graveyard into the deck, then you can special summon this card. So you can even probably, by the sounds of it, on summon pop itself. Because it just says target one dinosaur in your graveyard, pop an opponent's monster, and then, again, this is not conditional on what turn it is, so it'll depend on the fusion support. But if the card's destroyed, you can immediately shuffle the normal monster and then special summon it. So at least they're making good use of the normal. It's not just a forced brick. And it's not a hard brick. Your combo's not dead from what I can see if you happen to draw it. So it's not forcing you to play like 2 to mitigate that. So we've got a level 12 synchro, 2 6s, so I believe there's a 6 normal dinosaur. My brain immediately went to the water level 4 because that'll allow for the XYZ plays, but we'll see. This core seems to like 6s rather than 4s as opposed to more traditional dino. A tuner and a non-tuner. You can only use the 3rd effect of this card's name once per turn, so the other 2 are assuming, presumably, either lingering or soft. So, cannot be destroyed by battle. Lingering. Your opponent cannot target your dinosaur monsters that were special summoned from the graveyard with card effects. They also cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects. Like, that's nice. I feel like dinos have better insulation than that already, but I'm not complaining. It's better than it just not being there. And then the same clause for number 3 again, which again is a once per turn. So we've got the XYZ. It's going to have to be pretty pushed for you to not just go into solder. So rank 6 win dinosaur XYZ effect, 323. Well, 3,000, sorry, and 2,300, and it'll need 2 level 6 dinos. No, just 2 level 6 monsters. Okay. You can only use the 1st and 3rd, alright, of this card's name once per turn. They're not soft. You can detach 1 material from this card, then target one of your banished dinosaur monsters and special summon it. That's quite big. That gives you potential misc access instead of your combo just being dead. Well, your combo's going to be dead if it's interacted with, but it means you've got a resource loop with misc. You have access to it. So that'll special summon it back. And it sounds like a flexible effect anyway. If this card has no material, with no materials, battles another monster, any battle damage it inflicts to the opponent is doubled. It's an edge case, and normally I'd say it's a very mid effect, but again, dinosaurs can get quite overwhelming, and this might have more relevance than you'd think up until the point that you're playing it. And then the same, number 3, you can reborn it. Which, if you're reborning it, you're immediately going to be doing the double damage. But it needs to be destroyed, so keep that in mind. And I would assume this is the, well, we know it's the spell, Ground Dino. Normal spell card, you can only activate the 1st and 2nd effects of this card's name once per turn. Add 1 dinosaur tuner or dinosaur normal monster. We are giving them 6 rotors. Okay. So with Dig, you've got 6 rotors. With Dig and Ovi, you've got 6 rotors and 3 stratos. With Dig, Ovi, and Misc, you've got... It's consistent. It's gonna be consistent. I know it's tuner, but your absolute corner piece for this engine is tuner. Cool. So now we're playing a 34 card deck with Dino. Alright. Add one dinosaur tuner or dinosaur normal monster from your deck to your hand, then you can destroy one card in your hand. You can banish this card from your graveyard, fusion summon one dinosaur fusion monster from your extra deck, using monsters from your hand or field as fusion material. Cool. That's in your combo line, or it's where you want to be headed anyway. I think, depending on the build, it means this is going to be more incidental and not part of your actual line. It'll be dependent on drawing this, but again, there's no reason to not play 3 of this. It wrote us, and it wrote us for a pretty good card. I like it. The reprints we're going to be getting in line with it. Oh, please. I don't know how I feel about a reprint. Does it indicate they might be bringing it back? Because this is not expensive right now. Frostosaurus, it's a 6. It's normal. It makes sense. And we're getting a couple of the staple dinos. Yeah, this is going to be baby heavy, this build. Conceivably, you could probably brick on babies at the amount that you will want to play them, and a solder. Yeah, that makes absolute sense. Yeah, I like the look of it. Tell me what you guys think. How would you play it? Would you kind of try and dedicate it as its own deck? When I was saying and/or, I was talking about more the extra deck functions. You can. It sounds so flexible, so you can play it as its own engine. With existing dino support to support it, you can try and include your big dinos. You've got a lot of flexibility with searchable kaiju. You've got Pank and you've got UCT. Now you've potentially got another nice big dino. You're not going to be able to start running your scrap lines. I wouldn't have thought, unless you can just run your scrap line and then go into your Trancendrake line. It looks like there's options for playing it as a control style deck with Survival's End. It looks like you can get really creative, which I like to see. Even if it doesn't make a splash in the meta, I think it's going to catch some people out. I like it. Dinos are a cool archetype that have needed a bit of attention for a little bit. Again, is this an indication that we're going to test the waters with Misk again? Has it been power crept? Do we care? I probably do, because they are hyper consistent, and they're only going to get more consistent. Even if you're just playing it as a small engine where, like, it's not mandatory from what I'm seeing during your main phase, you can. So you can just rota for it, do your normal line, and get an efficient level 6 tuner out, and still do your kind of monster mash extra deck stuff and get really creative there. I think it's cool. I think that's everything as well. So guys, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, tell your friends, hit that bell icon. Any engagement is really helpful right now. We're still small, we're growing, we're fairly happy. To quote the shrimp from Shark Tale, which seems to have become a channel meme. That's been me. Namaste, fuckers. We'll see you next time. Okay, quick note to me from a few minutes ago. I've reviewed the footage and made a few slip-ups. Turns out, reading dinosaur names mixed with Yu-Gi-Oh names while you're not particularly experienced in video production causes for some brain fart. So, these are Transdrakes. They are not transcontinental. They are not transatlantic. They are not Transformers, as much as that'd be metal as hell. They are transcendent. that should do it. Stick a Devin Townsend album cover of Transcendence over the screen, and probably don't do anything that breaches copyright, and that should be good. Cool, bye!